Spirit. God our Father, you have created athletes, protect them from injury and harm. We pray for the safe travels of our guests from Findlay High School. We pray this Advent season we are prepared for the birth of your Son on Christmas Day. We pray St. Ignatius of Loyola's prayer of generosity. Lord, teach us to be generous. Teach us to serve you as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wound, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and to ask no reward, except that of knowing that we do your will. St. John Berkmans, pray for us. St. Ignatius, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Board of Directors, Commissioner, and staff of the Ohio High School Athletic Association welcome you to this OHSAA-sanctioned contest. To honor America, with respect for all who have served our country to defend the freedoms we enjoy, we ask everyone to stand and for gentlemen to remove their caps for the singing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, by SJJ Senior Andres Ramirez. The athletic department at St. John's Jesuit High School welcomes you to tonight's game between the Trojans of Findlay High School and the Titans of St. John's Jesuit, and we thank you for your support of high school student athletes. The officials assigned to this game have met the requirements set by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and have been approved by both schools.
We welcome you back to the Titan Dome for tonight's Three Rivers Athletic Conference matchup. The St. John's Titans hosting the Findlay Trojans. For St. John's, not only is this their season opener, but obviously the conference opener as well. Last year, St. John's 7-7 in the track. Findlay finished 8-6. Both of these teams are going to be up in the top half of the track this year.
Yeah, they always are. They're extremely well coached. They're going to be fundamentally sound and disciplined, particularly on the defensive end of the floor, and that's going to give you a chance to win each and every night. And then as the season goes on, because both teams are integrating a lot of new faces into their rotations this year, returning players in more of expanded roles. So offensively, it'll be the second of the two halves of the court to catch up with on the defensive end. But as the season goes, they'll get better and better, and they'll play their best basketball down the stretch when it counts the most.
And there is Findlay head coach Jim Rookie, who now, after Ed Heintrell has retired, is now the longest tenured coach in the track. Jim Rookie in his 21st season. And the big congratulations goes out to Jim Rookie as well, because that win Tuesday night against Woodward was his 300th win at Findlay.
Well deserved too, and got a chance to watch him up close and personal, being in the same league as him for a number of years, and he's outstanding. He's an outstanding basketball coach, and you don't do it this long without being good at what you do, and he certainly does that. I always, when I measure a coach, it's, do you get the most out of what you have? Whatever that is, do you get the most out of him, out of your team? And he does year in and year out, regardless of what the talent level is. Jim Rookie is a force to be contended with. His teams are, because they play hard, they're disciplined, and if you break down, they got you. And that's what you'll see from his ball club here this season.
And there is St. John's head coach Mike Schoen, a 2005 grad of St. John's. He's worked as an assistant under Ed Heinzel, learned a lot from him during his time, but Mike Schoen going to put his spin on this St. John's program now. Yeah, and it's well-deserved, well-earned, his right to have an opportunity to man the sidelines here at St. John's. A long-time assistant, as you mentioned here, you know, a lot of the principles and philosophies will likely be the same, but you'll see some tweaks here and there will be his own imprint. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And what they've done here at St. John's over the course of time, everybody knows, is second to none. So you'll see a very disciplined basketball team, one that's going to, you'll see a lot of ball movement, player movement, and it's a team that can stretch the floor from behind the arc. So we'll see how it all plays out here this season. And one thing that Ed Heinzel talked about from his 40 years as the head coach at St. John's, you go back to that first year, it was not easy for Ed Heinzel as the head coach. It was a tough season, a few wins there. It's not going to be an easy first season for Mike Schoen. He's going to be learning about his team. Players going to be learning about him. Exactly right. When you played in the track, you know, you don't have a whole lot of time to you know, for a feeling out process. You know, it's kind of baptism by fire, learn on the fly each and every night. But he's been in this league forever, it seems, being on that sideline. So there is a lot of familiarity, which is good. His familiarity with the kids that he's coached and worked with, you know, through the younger levels up through now. So it's just a matter of, you're the one making, not suggestions, you're the one making the final decision. And that's something that he'll adapt to very quickly. And even the nerves, it's natural to feel before your first game. Now that ball's tipped up, now it's basketball, something you've been accustomed to doing, being a part of your whole life. And contact from behind, the first foul of the game. It's called against Thomas Zyrus. The 6'3", 205-pound forward, who you'll also recognize that name from the football field. He was one of the top receivers for Brady Lichtenberg, along with Jack Ryder and Dimitri Mitsopoulos. Findlay, the final score from their season-opening victory against Woodward was 55-47. The Trojans having to be patient here on their first possession. And traveling the call. Called against Isaiah Moore, who will be one of the more experienced players on the floor tonight for Findlay. Second-team all-conference football player. Going to need more from him at the offensive end this season. Averaged just 2 points a game last year. Yeah, they're trying to set up they cleared out the weak side, trying to set up a backdoor cut, but he shuffled the feet. The reverse came up short for Sam Swift, and Moore got caught in the air. This Findlay team graduated some big-time leaders in Ryan Nunn and Ryan Roth, who combined for over 2,000 career points. Ryan Roth was the single season and career record holder for threes. And A.J. Adams turns it over, and we will take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Burger King. First for Findlay, Isaiah Moore, Terrion Ross, Isaiah Johnson, A.J. Adams, and Brock McCrancy. And there was a change to the St. John's starting lineup, as you have Sam Swift out there along with Brady Lichtenberg. Thomas Zyrus is out there with Shane Garcia. So the change was Zyrus being out there instead of Gary Batch. Yeah, it could be just a matchup situation too, where Findlay's going to play a little bit of a smaller lineup, and it's a better matchup with Zyrus in the game. And there's a three for Sam Swift. Titans on the board first. And that's the strength of this basketball team. Talking to Coach Mike Schoen, is they have multiple shooters on the floor that can really stretch the opposing defense. Important for Sam Swift and company. Knock down the first few shots early, gain that confidence and rhythm. Elbow jumper for A.J. Adams.
A.J. Adams, a second-team all-track performer a season ago, gets his first shot to fall. Again, early in the season with a young club, especially here tonight, it's important for him to have a lot on his shoulders on the offensive end. He got the first one to go. That bodes well for the Trojans.
Right place, right time for Kennedy Vaughn. He puts it back up and in off the miss from Sam Swift. A three from Swift just grazed the iron as Brady Lichtenberg has it for the Titans. Lichtenberg finds an open man and left open on the baseline. Little pump fake. And going to the line for two will be Kennedy Vaughn.
Good ball movement by the Titans there. Findlay gets a miscommunication defensively. It left Kennedy Vaughn wide open underneath. Good shot fake, goes up, gets the hit on the lower body. He gets to go to the free throw line.
Kennedy Vaughn, 5'10", sophomore. Can't get the roll on the first. We know this is the season opener for St. John's, but they were tested in their scrimmages, facing most recently in their foundation game, Voyager College Prep out of the Detroit area. Also went up against MLK. That one drops. Two-possession game.
And a lot of their scrimmages, too, with a lot of the players being football players, they were a little bit short-handed in the first few scrimmages, but able to get everybody back in the fold for that foundation game against Voyager College Prep, like you mentioned there, and they're ready to rock and roll here, open up the season in track play.
That last foul called against Garcia. And three-pointer is blocked. Good defense by Garcia. Findlay can reset. The Titan fans liking what they're seeing from their team defensively.
Good little flex action here by Findlay.
And trying to force one inside. Trojans turn it over. Good look for Swift. And rebounded by Isaiah Moore. And Lichtenberg got a hand in there on the pull-up.
Yeah, quick hands there. Moore lost the handle going up. Credit to Lichtenberg's defense.
And the layup for Lichtenberg.
Make a defensive play on one end, get rewarded for running the floor on the other end.
And we have a full timeout. St. John's on their home floor and off to a quick start, turning defense into offense. It's 9-2, St. John's. Halfway through the first quarter, the Titans by 7. Now out there on the floor for Findlay is the big man, Luke Montgomery, coming in at 6'5", 260. By the way, he's only a freshman. Wearing number 40 for the Trojans. As Adams fading away, I think St. John's will live with that look.
Yeah, they'll take that look to fade away over a contested hand and just take your chances with them.
Trying to get one on the backside there. It's turned over. Here comes Moore. Trying to take it all the way himself and goes over top the glass. St. John's basketball. C.J. Hornbeek checks in for the Titans. Justin Roth in for the Trojans. One more look at it.
Yeah, good defense there, collapsing on Moore, driving to the rim, forced up the errant shot.
St. John's and Findlay split their 2 regular season meetings a season ago. It was an overtime victory for St. John's in the first meeting. And the 3 on the way from Hornbeek. St. John's with their second 3. CJ Hornbeek, only a freshman. Titans by 10. Findlay has had to work for everything at the offensive end so far. And Adams, tough shot. It's good defense again.
St. John is doing a great job of just contesting every shot, making it difficult on the Trojans early on here.
We do want to make one correction here early. There was a number change from our roster. You've got Kennedy Vaughn wearing 44 and Gary Batch wearing 32. So right now, Gary Batch has 4 of the 12 points for the Titans. Lichtenberg with the basketball. 2 minutes remaining in the first. Hornbeek again. Too much on that one, but on the backside, wouldn't go for Gary Batch. Going back the other way.
Right now, Findlay had a difficult time taking care of the basketball. They're facing some contested shots. They're going to get that out of a young team. And we talked about them being banged up with some injuries. Playing some youth as well. A couple sophomores in that starting lineup here this evening. Nice back cut.
And the layup for Joe Barnes. Bench points for the Titans. The run continues. Right now it looks like St. John's is coming in here with a game under their belt.
Well, you know they've been itching to get out here and compete against somebody in a different colored jersey.
3 wouldn't go, although it was a pretty good look for Justin Roth.
St. John's a 5-out offense on a pass and cutting.
And Batch trying to slip it inside to Barnes. And Findlay going to call timeout. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. It's a 30-second timeout with the Titans on top by 12. So far, St. John's inside and outside scoring.
Yeah, right now they're spreading the wealth. Everybody's getting involved in the offense, and they're just getting high-quality looks at the rim, whether it's a spot-up 3 from behind the arc or getting all the way to the front of the rim as well, whether it's off a pass or a dribble drive. So they're kind of having their way right now on both ends of the floor. They're playing hard defensively. They're playing great position defense, and everything that Findlay has had up to this point has been a contested jump shot, and they've come up dry. In the majority of their possessions here, I think Coach Ruby's going to talk about you. Just settle down. Let's run our stuff. Findlay runs a lot of different sets. They can really put defenses in a bind, but to do that, you have to take care of the basketball. But it's going to take 2-3 possessions to break somebody loose, with the multiple options they have within their sets. And right now, so he's just trying to, Coach Rook is just trying to settle the club down and give him some confidence and give him some kind of rhythm offensively.
Kennedy Vaughn guarding Isaiah Moore. And a little hand check call. That's going to be team foul number 3 for the Titans. Not much there, but enough to draw a whistle. Adams had it poked away, being defended by Barnes. Montgomery, well defended. Nearly into the backcourt, now tipped away by Swift. He's a little aggressive there going over the top of Roth.
Well, he had the initial deflection on the denial, and then he just got really eager. It's right here, deflection, and just went right through the back of the Findlay player there. But those are the fouls you can take if you're a coach. That's an aggressive foul, trying to get a steal.
Less than 20 seconds. Adams had a good look, kicks it out, open 3, And Findlay needed that. Brock McCrancy. Final seconds of the first. Contact inside, no whistle. Mike Schoen looking for a call. And Isaiah Moore is swatted as time expires in the first. So far for the St. John's Titans, they not only have a 9-point lead, but everyone is getting involved at the offensive end. It's 14-5 St. John's after 1 quarter of play here on BCSN.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Broadband, is presented by Burger King.
Second quarter underway here at the Titan Dome, and St. John's is back up by double figures. Brady Lichtenberg knocking down the three, his first from long range.
He's played a lot of high-quality basketball here at the varsity level. We know the job that he's done on the football field. Another outstanding football season for him at the quarterback position this year.
The tie up there. You're not going to rip that ball away from Montgomery, I can tell you that much.
Well, if you do, you're going to eat a shoulder. And look at that. Look at that guy. Thick shoulder guy, only 14 years old. He's got a bright future. I watched him play football this fall, and he looked the part. You know, out of that defensive end slot for the Trojans, and he's got a lot of years ahead of him where we're going to be seeing a lot of him.
Well, for a guy to have that much size as a freshman, you've been around the Whitmer program for a long time. Remind you a little bit of Storm Norton in the size that he had?
No. I think they're built differently. Mike looks like he has a little bit thicker shoulders, a little bit wider shoulders, thicker in the upper body than Storm was at that age. I think, you know, height-wise, we'll see how it all translates out because Storm ended up being about a 6'7" guy. So, but what you see there is, you know, out of Mike Montgomery, there's a thick Luke Montgomery. I'm sorry, Mike is his father, who was an outstanding athlete in his own right at Findlay High School, went on to play football at Miami of Ohio. But Luke got a good frame on him. He's aggressive. He's not afraid of the moment. He's gonna use his body to his advantage this year for the Trojans.
And to be honest, I did not get to see Storm Norton as a youngster like you did.
He wasn't.
But I saw what he ended up being.
Yeah, he wasn't as developed physically at a young age like Luke is. But obviously, by the end of it, he turned into an excellent player and athlete.
Lichtenberg with the basketball, minute gone by here in the second. On the drive, blocked by Adams. Showing his length there. Right back to Adams. And Moore's pass tipped. Swift trying to save it, just out of bounds.
So St. John's is very active defensively, particularly reading the reversal pass, getting in that passing lane and disrupting this offensive Findlay.
And there's a familiar face in the stands, Ed Heinschel. The now retired Ed Heinschel after 4 decades as the head coach at St. John's. Great to see him here in the gym tonight. And Adams was fouled attacking the rack.
Well, there's nobody that ever did it better around Northwest Ohio than Ed Heinschel. Did a wonderful career. You know, the countless teams that have made deep tournament runs, the individual players that have just gone on to play Power 5 Division I college basketball. The culture that he established here for St. John's is, hats off to him, the career that he's had.
For Ed Heinschel, 725 wins, 224 losses, 17 league titles, 16 district titles, 6 trips to the state Final Four.
Not bad. Not bad. I'll take it. Give me one of those. Give me one of those seasons. We'll be happy. But no, you know what? And what I really enjoy about Coach Heigel, too, he's so giving of his time. With us here doing what we do to prepare for a ball game, he's always very willing to sit down and chat and send us information that we can use for our broadcast. And we really appreciate everything he's done for us here at BCSN.
Swift, 3. Yes, sir. Sam Swift with his second from long range.
That's the 4th for the Titans here in this first half.
Swift was the man that got the offense started. 4 of 6 from downtown are the Titans. Adams looking for a driving lane. Titans basketball. Adams looking for a call, or at least a touch called against St. John's. But he's trying to force something that wasn't there.
Yeah, he's really trying to put them on the floor and get all the way to the rim, but St. John's doing a good job of collapsing and helping on that dribble drive. With his ability, when he catches that ball at that 15-foot mark and squares up, if he has the open jump shot, you always want to maybe explore that option first and just try to keep that defense honest.
A little bump from Sam Wyrau.
Sam Wyrau, one of the 5 sophomores on this roster, the varsity level for Findlay. Coach Rookie talked about, they're going to play, and we're going to, it's going to be a learning process early, and just continue to get better one day at a time. And like I said, these teams, this graduation really has hit a lot of teams hard in the offseason, not just in the track, but around Northwest Ohio in general. So a lot of coaches are integrating some new faces into their rotation. There are also people that are returning are in expanded roles or different roles than the season before, more expected from them.
Sam Swift will lay it home.
And with that, just a process. And it's almost a cliche anymore, but it's reality. It's get one day better each and every time, and hope you peak at the right time, which is down the stretch in your league play and in the tournament run.
Adams, offensive rebound. Had some space and let the three-pointer go. Adams has 6 of the 9 points. Good trap there against Lichtenberg. And the layup for Gary Batch. That's too easy out of that trap.
Well, you throw out of the trap, you're going to the corner, and the bottom guy has to go out and play the corner, and Batch is sliding right down the lane line out of the high post area. Nobody's there to pick him up.
And contact before the shot, and that will put Findlay in the bonus for the rest of this half. Foul called against Kennedy Vaughn. As checking in is Andrew Miller. Miller, 6'4", 190-pound junior. Unable to get the front end of the 1-and-1. It's the Titans by 15 and with the basketball. Lichtenberg, deep 3. One and done for the Titans on that possession. Moore guarded by Hornbeek. A lob into Montgomery. That's a tough break there. There was a little bit of a hold on Montgomery as he was trying to go after that basketball. Yeah. Otherwise, the backside help was there.
Backside help was there. It was on time. Would have had a steal, but they're going to get Garcia on a hold on the initial three-quarter front. He's going to come out here and he's going to have Batch come back into the ballgame.
Joe Barnes back on the floor as well. As tough as this start has been for the Findlay Trojans, get into halftime here and you have this to an 8-10 point ball game, you're right into it.
Yeah, right now you just got to have incremental goals here, and that is, you're exactly right. Get into halftime a single-digit deficit. just kind of regroup and reload and come back out and see what you can do in the second half.
Lichtenberg looking for an open man.
They missed Joe Barnes cutting right down the lane line, but they found Gary Batch.
Still get a layup out of it. 8 points for Batch. The reaction from the crowd after that first cut was missed said it all.
Probably got Findlay's attention, and all of a sudden everybody left Gary Batch wide open on the weak side.
9 team fouls now for St. John's. It's Isaiah Moore back to the line. We mentioned that Findlay lost both Ryan Nunn and Ryan Roth, two of their backcourt leaders from a season ago, over 2,000 career points. Had a chance to see Ryan Nunn playing for Madonna now in a Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference matchup against the Lord's Grey Wolves. Madonna, one of the top teams that Lord's has faced so far. This game that came down to the wire. So the pull-up is not there. Hornbeek in the open floor, kicks it to Swift. That three is good.
And Sam Swift, his third triple, double digits, 11 points for the senior.
30-second timeout as the St. John's lead has ballooned to 19.
St. John's doing a great job. They're multiple shooters that we talked about, multiple guys that can handle the ball. They're getting out, they're running the floor and playing in space. They're really putting defenses in a bind. They're not getting back and getting matched up, or they're being forced to help in the dribble drive, pitch and catch, wide open threes. They're knocking them down. I believe that's their 5th made three of the opening half, if I'm not mistaken. But equally, the job they're doing defensively, when you play a team that runs as a set-oriented basketball team like Findlay, you can't let them catch, look, and make your passes. They'll pick you apart and they'll break you down. You got to be physical. You have to make them put the ball on the floor and get them out of that set and make them improvise. St. John's has been able to do that so far here in the first half at a high rate. Consequently, Findlay hasn't found any type of rhythm or sustained success on the offensive end.
And I'll go back to the fact that it's a balanced scoring attack for St. John's where everyone is looking to shoot. For Findlay, everything is operating through A.J. Adams, which we expected coming in, but somebody's going to have to knock down some shots.
You're right. And that's, there's a foul there, but that's where you hope like a McCrancy can step up. He had a big night against Woodward, 22 points on Tuesday evening, but he's a guy that's going to need to be created for a catch-and-shoot guy predominantly, where maybe right now in his young career as a sophomore isn't going to be able to create his own shot like an Austin Adams, like Adams can, A.J. Adams can. So, it's a learning process. You just have to figure it out as they go. But if you're Coach Rook, you just want to have great effort, cohesiveness, play together, and get better.
Three off the iron for Barnes, and Findlay trying to push it the other way. Trojans are now in the double bonus for the final 1:43 of the half.
And if there is one hiccup, maybe right now that Coach Schoen wants to talk about at halftime is, yes, guys, we want to play fast, we want to play physical, we want to push. But we also keep putting teams in a double bonus, in each half where they can, crawl back into a ball game or stay within pace, or in other games extend the lead. So you want to be physical, you want to be active and aggressive, but you also want to be smart in terms of where you're doing it on the floor. Trying to rip a guy one-on-one at half court or on the opposite side of half court probably isn't the best decision because the success rate of that is very small. And I think that's what they'll address those type of things, at halftime. But it's been an outstanding first half nonetheless for the Titans. Finlay now looks like a 3-2 zone, a 1-2-2 look. Trying to slow down this St. John's basketball team.
Nearly turned over. And that did catch the sideline. Finlay giving St. John's a different look there defensively, and it pays off. Trojans looking for a driving lane. It's into the hands of Ross, who gives it up to Moore. Moore one-on-one with Vaughn. Offensive foul.
We're going to get a carry call on the dribble drive. Findlay tried to isolate a little two-man game on the right side, screen roll action. They couldn't get it, and then on the dribble drive, turned it over to carry.
Inside of a minute to play here in the first half. Titans by 17. They had a 9-point lead after one.
You hear the St. John's coaching staff saying one shot. You got CJ Hornbeek's the runner on the baseline. They got Barnes stepping out. You get that back line so worried about guys running on the baseline, you flash to the middle of that zone. Sometimes you're found wide open. Watch Gary Batch, see if he can't break loose.
Hornbeek, three. Barnes, the offensive board, and he is fouled. Three guys there for Findlay, and Big Joe Barnes coming down with it.
Well, textbook possession by St. John's. They got it down to about 4 seconds. You got a spot-up look by C.J. Hornbeek. It didn't go, but the activity level of Joe Barnes on the inside, the physicality, allowed for the offensive rebound, contact, and he gets to go to the free throw line.
First one is good. For Findlay, that was just their fourth team foul of the half. 1 second remaining in this half. Barnes gets the second to drop. Moore gets it off in time. And that's the end of the first half here at St. John's. The Titans a 31-12 lead after 16 minutes of play. And right now their scoring being led by Sam Swift. He's had the hot hand from outside.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Broadband, is presented by Siena Heights University, celebrating 100 years, and by Gallon, Takis, and Boisenall.
Halftime here at St. John's with the Titans on top by 19. St. John's playing their season opener and looking good so far, with Swift and Batch leading the way. The two have combined for 19 points. Look at the first half highlights, and St. John's was off to a quick start. You had the opening three there from Sam Swift. And Adams there, that was one of the rare bright spots for Findlay offensively.
Yeah, got off to a good start with the opening possession or two, but you talked about the three-point shooting. 5 threes in the first half for St. John's, 3 by Sam Swift, and Gary Batch, Joe Barnes did a great job on the inside of just keeping that Findlay defense honest. Batch has 8 points, Joe Barnes has 4. So they got a balanced attack in terms of where their points are coming from, but when you got multiple guys that can stretch the floor and they're doing it on the same night, you're going to be tough to beat. And that St. John's has been able to do that so far. You got Sam Swift with 11. Brady Lichtenberg that knocked down a 3. Hornbeek knocked down a 3 as well.
Good transition offense there, leading to a corner 3 for Sam Swift. The only player in double figures. The first half numbers, Titans shooting 50% from the field. You'll take that certainly in your season opener and in most games. Maybe like to see them get to the free throw line a little bit more often. And as you and I talked about in that first half, limit their fouling.
Exactly right. Number one, to limit the foul. That's something that Coach Schoen will definitely talk about at halftime. It's not committing fouls, it's where you're committing fouls. And if it's inside the painted area, at a dribble drive or something like that, or at a rebound, okay, you can live with those. Those are physical fouls. When you're doing it out near half court, and the other side of half court, trying to rip a guy one-on-one, the success rate of that is so low. It's like, okay, maybe 1 out of 10 times if you get that done, let's just play solid defense, move our feet. We'll get a steal. It might be just a few seconds later, I think. But look at Findlay there, 23%, 33% for them. St. John's, a lot of it's St. John's oriented because they're doing a great job of collapsing, taking the dribble drive away. They're getting up and being physical in terms of denying the entry pass, wherever it may be on the floor against those sets. It's really disrupting Findlay's rhythm right now, and it's just been tough sledding offensively for them.
A.J. Adams, after 17 points a game last season, he's got 6 so far. As we said, Sam Swift leading the scoring attack for St. John's, one of 5 different St. John's players to have scored.
If you scripted it for Coach Schoen in his opening game, being your first game, not just for you as a head coach, but for your team, it couldn't have gone any better on both ends of the floor for them. So we'll see if they can keep the pedal to the floor and if they can keep it going in the second half.
We'll have the third quarter coming your way on BCSN.
BCSN, available exclusively on Buckeye Broadband, is presented by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by Yark Automotive, just what you're looking for.
A nice crowd on hand for the St. John's Titans season opener against the Findlay Trojans, playing their second game of the 2019-2020 season. Brad Woznicki back with Rhett Boyd. Titans on top by 19 after the first half of play, and they'll start with the basketball.
Findlay's going to go back to that 1-2-2 zone that they finished the first half with, just trying to slow down the momentum for St. John's. They're going to give up some open threes, but you got to hope the Titans miss and try to get something to go right for you from a consistency standpoint on the offensive end.
As we said, coming in, Findlay a little bit shorthanded tonight due to some injuries and an illness. St. John's a little bit banged up as well. Jaden McKinstry battling an injury.
And when he comes back, that'll give them some size to help out on the inside as well.
And you and I were looking forward to seeing who was going to step up for this St. John's team coming into this game, and we said there were some unknowns coming in. Last year, one of the biggest points of conversation when it came to St. John's was talking about what will this St. John's team be like when Caleb Smith is available. He had transferred over from Rogers, wasn't going to be available till the second half of the season. Now Caleb Smith is playing at start. You also remember that Peyton Moyer is gone and Dimitri Mitsopoulos not playing basketball this year.
Yeah, and so watching them, so what do you see out here then, right? What I see out here from this team, in the first half of their first game, obviously multiple guys that can shoot it, multiple guys that can handle it, but you see a lot of cohesion, meaning they're sharing the basketball, ball movement, player movement. Guys don't really care who's getting the shots or the statistics, if you will. They're just looking to play good fundamental basketball that's very efficient.
Good ball movement, corner three, and that time it's good for Shane Garcia, his first points.
And the guy that Coach Schoen really liked talking about. He said he's a 4, but he can stretch the floor as good as anybody. And we saw a little bit what he was talking about right there for that corner three.
Titans now with 6 threes in the ball game. 3 of those have come from Sam Swift. 2 minutes into this third quarter, Adams, another tough shot. Lichtenberg, right down the lane, stopped there by Adams, kicks it out. Swift again, off the iron, rebounded by McCrancy. And the 3 would not drop for Sam Wyrau. Contact there right in front of the St. John's bench. Foul goes against Wyrau.
See our veteran officiating crew here, Tony Santiago, John Banks, and Tom Gibbons. Saw those guys before the game. We said we'll give them a little shout out here tonight. Guys do a great job and work hard.
Lichtenberg thought about the 3. This time he'll let it fly, and that's good. Brady Lichtenberg, 8 points now.
His second made 3. Good ball movement. Anytime you get it against the zone, inside out, go high post, look opposite. You'll beat the zone recovering. Brady Lichtenberg knocked down the open 3 there.
And to go back to your point a moment ago, mentioning the great officiating crew that we have, still always looking for more officials in Ohio high school sports.
Yeah, we've seen the stories and the articles over the course of the last year of the shortage of officials, and they're in need, and we need them, and everybody loves coming out on a Friday night and watching. There's a nice play there.
And 1 for Sam Wyrau.
Everybody likes coming out on a Friday night and watching the ball game, but the reality is you can't have a ball game if you don't have officials. That's it. I mean, I don't care what sport it is, and so obviously we respect the job that they do. And yeah, when you wear the stripes, I mean, part of the nature is you're not always going to agree with every call, but by and large, you get it right most times. And we obviously want to give a shout out to them and respect the job that they do.
Wyrau completes the three-point play. Took Findlay almost 4 minutes to get their first field goal of this second half. St. John started this game up 12-2. Lichtenberg trapped. Good look. Hornbeek the layup.
You see the unselfish play, the player movement, coming off screens, opening up to the basketball, back cuts, quality looks, whether it's been from behind the arc or whether it's been at the rim.
Good ball movement. Roth from the corner. Three is good. Findlay would like to see more of that.
Yeah, Justin Roth, another one of those young sophomores coming off the bench there. Again, good ball movement. That baseline kick to Roth sliding down to the corner.
And an offensive foul.
Yeah, I believe that's what they called. I don't know if there's a push off or not. Let's take a look here. Lichtenberg with the ball.
A 5-second call.
There you go.
Because I did not see a signal to the scores table for who a foul was against. Wyrau, good defense and traveling the call.
Yeah, good job there.
Joe Barnes.
Joe Barnes, he got elevated, but Wyrau didn't make him pay and go up and get the contact. By the time he got down, Barnes did a good job, but it's moving the feet, forced a travel call.
Worked over to Swift. Underneath, Batch had it stripped, and there was contact on the arm.
Gary Batch there gives you some length inside, some athleticism. And his first steps, for a post play is pretty quick. And you get McKinstry back in the fold. You got him, Joe Barnes, the physicality inside. It's a nice little three-man rotation that Coach Schoen can work in tandem throughout the season.
And Gary Batch becomes the second St. John's Titan to reach double figures. Lichtenberg knocking on the door with 8 points. And an offensive foul called against Adams.
That's Gary Batch. They're sliding the feet laterally. You're staying square to Adams. Bam, hit right in the middle of the chest. And we always say more times than not, if the hit's square in the middle of the chest, advantage defense. If it's a grazing blow, advantage offense. Gary Batch got the call there for the Titans.
And offensive foul.
Gonna get Kennedy Vaughn here on the legal screen, I believe, or a push. Giving the legal screen call.
So far, a 10-6 advantage for St. John's here in the third. And Vaughn picks up another.
That's going to be his fourth.
And immediately to the scores table, Michael Greenlee, 5'9" freshman. Each team now with 3 team fouls. Adams against Batch, contested. Rebounded by Hornbeek. Lichtenberg pulls up. Quick shot there. That might have been the quickest possession we've seen for St. John's in the half court tonight.
Yeah, quick possession, came off a ball screen. Just never got his legs underneath him. Was going to fade into the baseline side, left it short.
Now Greenlee picks up the personal, trying to defend Isaiah Moore, who's coming up the floor every time with a full head of steam. Yeah,
there's a bump right there. Fans don't like it, but that bump is you're stepping into the progress, into the path of the offensive player, and you're deterring his path and where he wants to go. It's going to be called. It was subtle, but it was there.
Barnes commits St. John's 5th team foul. Less than 2 to play here in the third. Justin Roth. Adams gets in the paint. His strongest take of the night.
Little jab step, head and shoulder fake. It just froze Batch for a second. Allowed Adams to get all the way to the cup.
8 points for A.J. Adams.
It's been a great battle tonight, Batch and Adams, one-on-one.
Offensive foul. Wyrau takes the charge.
Coach Rookie, score aside, has to be pretty happy with his club here in the third quarter. Got better ball movement, getting some better looks. That time, Wyrau stepping in, taking the charge. Again, one of those young sophomores, and they're getting valuable experience on the road in the first track game of the year.
And Greenlee poked it away. Batch tried to push it right back to him, and tough break there. Greenlee just lost his footing after tipping that ball to his teammate.
Yeah, right idea. Just an unfortunate play. Let's get back at it, get a defensive stop.
Moore finds Wyrau. Turnaround, drops. I think that's a good no call there.
Yeah, I believe you're absolutely right. I think he tried to buy a call there. Didn't get it. Wyrau with the soft touch.
And Hornbeak couldn't get it to drop. Rebounded by Adams. Findlay trying to make a late run here in the third. Into the hands of Moore. Kicks it out. Adams, great look at a three, but it's short. Coach Mike Schoen there was screaming out to get Brady Lichtenberg the ball. He wants one of his experienced players, one of his leaders to have the ball as they try and work for a good shot here. Yeah,
the last couple possessions have gone awry, and you're exactly right. You want the leadership, your veteran player with the ball. It'd be a calming influence. Get into your offense, try to get another quality look.
Less than 20 seconds. Underneath, Lichtenberg, layup wouldn't go. Gets his own miss and puts it home.
Brady Lichtenberg wanted to pad his defensive stat or his rebounding stats there on the offensive glass. No, all joking aside, good job staying with it.
And Adams, frustrated with Lichtenberg on the tie-up, gets the technical foul.
That's just frustration by A.J. Adams. So you come down, you just get a tie-up with Lichtenberg. See the crossover, Lichtenberg gets the hands in there, and if he felt Lichtenberg gave him a little push or not, and nonetheless, referees handled it.
That more just adds to what we've seen tonight for A.J. Adams. Nothing easy at the offensive end. Anytime he's gotten some sort of a driving lane, Titans have been able to collapse on him and force a tough shot or a kick out.
Exactly right. I think right there, the tie up with the jump ball, neither guy wants to give an inch and let the other guy have the ball. And Adams must have felt he got pushed a little bit. Brady Lichtenberg disagrees, and Adams gets called for the technical. And both coaches did a good job just getting their players over the sides to calm down, guys. Look, 3 seconds left in the quarter. Finish this game off the right way.
Shane Garcia will step to the line for St. John's. Had his first points of the ball game with a three early in this quarter. One more here for Garcia.
And that's Adams' the technical is his fourth foul in the evening.
3 seconds left, and checking in is Thomas Zyrus. In for Findlay, Isaiah Johnson. They're trying to straighten things out because you had a tie-up call, and we cannot see where the possession arrow was pointing to on that tie-up. It's pointing to Findlay right now.
Wonder if the arrow got flipped at the scores table, because you had technical fouls and you get the ball at half court. The arrow should not have switched at that point. Maybe it did. Hey, they'll figure it out.
Mike Schoen was trying to do his best to try and help out the officiating crew, as the Titans have 3 players in double figures tonight: Swift, Lichtenberg, and Gary Batch.
It's been balanced. It's been balanced, and it's been as a result of ball movement, player movement. You got buckets right at the front of the rim. You got 3 balls supreme with, counting up here, there's 5, 6, 7 made threes by St. John's here this evening as we approach the end of the third quarter.
Lichtenberg will inbound. Underneath, Zyrus, good catch. And that's the end of the third quarter. Quarterback going to his receiver there, trying to get one more bucket before the fourth, as the Titans able to add to their lead in the third quarter. It's St. John's on top by 22 after 3 quarters of play here on BCSN. St. John's 44, Findlay 22 as we start the fourth quarter here on BCSN. Brad Woznicki alongside Rhett Boyd. It's the Three Rivers Athletic Conference opener for these two teams. Saw Mike Floyd in the stands tonight for Central Catholic. His game canceled tonight. Central, of course, making some adjustments to their schedule as they've had to do a lot during the Greg Dempsey era with the deep run, making it to the state Final Four.
That's a good thing. That's
right.
a good thing.
Always a good thing.
But what it does is it does back up. I don't have to do one game or 2 games, but it backs them up a little bit, which means you're going to have some of those weeks there in the middle of the season. You're going to play 3 games in a week, but just I guess that's the problem with making a deep football run. If there's a problem, but that's outstanding, the job they've done on the gridiron. And I'll tell you what, watch out for the Irish. They return a lot of players off a team last year. There's about 500, but they lost several single-digit ball games to some of those top teams in Northwest Ohio. Is this a year with the year of added experience? Can they get over the hump and challenge for a track title?
Batch short on the pull-up. Last year, the Whitmer Panthers and the Lima Senior Spartans shared the track title. Lima Senior, the favorite to win the title this year, as a three-pointer drops for Sam Swift, give him 14. Lima Senior bringing back a majority of their starting lineup, led by Josiah Fulcher, the Bowling Green State University commit. Lima Senior taking on Whitmer tonight. It's a Whitmer team that you and I talked about, a little bit shorthanded right now, and they've got a lot of new faces as well, with their entire starting 5 gone, and Tony Delvaux now returning to Whitmer.
Yeah, they got a lot of new faces, a lot of young faces, in addition to some of the new faces and veteran guys that you're bringing back. To get, you take a look at, you see, nice job there by Zyrus. Riley Keller is back this year. Last year he couldn't play basketball because of an injury sustained in the playoffs in football last season. He's going to be back playing this year. Tony Delvaux returns from Toledo Christian. You got just drawing a blank. But you have a 6'5" freshman they're going to implement into the lineup. a JV point guard that now we'll see a lot of varsity action as well. So they're young. They're young, incorporating a lot of new faces in the lineup. So, they might have their ups and downs playing maybe a Lima senior tonight or early in the season. But talking to Coach Ryan Brown, he loves the way his guys have been competing. They're getting better. He challenged them immensely with the scrimmage schedule that they had. So it's one of those deals where he's looking to, again, this continuous improvement, playing their best basketball and peaking at the end of the season.
I had a chance to see Whitmer a little bit during summer ball action. And you saw the Start Spartans come away with the Toledo Summer League title. That was great competition. I love that we had that coverage throughout the summer to give us an idea of what's to come in the winter. Honestly, it had us even more excited coming into this season because of that play.
Yeah, and I think, too, when you had that dynamic we talked about a little bit in the first half, is graduation hit a lot of teams hard. When you talk about the prominent scorers on veteran clubs maybe a season ago. So a lot of these teams, they're in transition in terms of flipping the roster over a little bit, having a core group back, mixing it with some young talent. So that's going to be exciting to watch, especially in the early part of this season.
The Three Rivers Athletic Conference preseason poll, Lima Senior the favorite, Central Catholic picked second, this Findlay team picked third, St. John's fourth, and St. Francis picked fifth. You and I are looking forward to St. Francis and Lima Senior next Friday.
Yeah, St. Francis is one of the teams that's hit hard by graduation. Jackie Harris and Jaquil Wells, stand out as two offensive players that they're going to miss. But I think, too, when you look at their early part of the season, they beat Cardinal Stretch in game one with Joey Hollyfield. That's a big win. And then they went and won at Pickerington Central down in the Columbus area, which is a team with great tradition as well. So Coach Lewis, one thing you know about him, his teams, regardless of who they got back or who they don't have back, they're going to compete from buzzer to buzzer, and they're going to be heard. They're going to be heard from in the track. It'll be interesting to see how they match up with a very talented Lima Senior team a week from now.
McCrancy scores. He's got 5 points on the night. Going to see one of Travis Lewis' former players in Jackie Harris tomorrow when the Oakland Grizzlies take on the Bowling Green Falcons at the Stroh.
Yeah, I got to see him last week when they played at Toledo, and he's got about 7 minutes a ball game.
It's part of 4 straight Mid-American Conference opponents for Greg Campy and the Oakland Grizzlies.
Talk about a guy that challenges his team in the non-conference. Coach Campy takes a backseat to nobody in that regard. They played Maryland earlier in the year, but
and it's going to be a bit of a welcome back party as well for Greg Campy, having played both basketball and football at Bowling Green. Yeah,
and I was talking to Jay Lehman, who is the Rocket color analyst on the radio broadcast side. He says, I'm telling you right now, he could play, and he had an extremely quick first step. And, he gets to come back to Northwest Ohio where he had a lot of productive years. And Jackie Harris is up there getting about 7 minutes of ball game, the former St. Francis Knight, and see what he can do tomorrow against the Falcons.
4.5 to play in this ball game. Titans by 19. They're up by 22 coming into the quarter. Zyrus attacks. Little contact, bit of a wild shot, but it's cleaned up by Andrew Miller, his first points.
Andrew Miller just working on the weak side there, got in position, got a bucket.
8 different St. John's players have scored tonight. Will stay at this end. Moore, defended by Vaughn. Just inside the arc for McCrancy. St. John's going to be right back at it tomorrow when they take on St. Ed's. That game will be played here at the Titan Dome. And over and back the call. St. John's looking for a tip call. They're not going to get it.
Referees did a good job. They're conversing. And the official said, nope, no tip. The help official said, nope, no tip, and which means the guy on the ball was correct, and Findlay takes over.
Pull-up jumper off the iron. Rebounded by Garcia. St. John's going to be patient on every possession down the stretch here. 3 minutes remaining, up by 21. And Wyrau a reach in against Batch. Both teams in the bonus.
On the line for the Titans, number 32, Gary Batch.
And Batch can't get the roll. Moore on the wing, off the screen. Findlay Trojans will be back in action on December 10th at home against the Whitmer Panthers. It's been a tough night for the Trojans. It was a quick start for St. John's. They went in the locker room leading by 19. And Garcia hits the three. He's got 7 points all in the second half. Timeout Findlay, 2:22 to play. This will be a full timeout. St. John's on top by 24. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this ball game. St. John's on their way to a season-opening victory here on their home floor. 3 players in double figures tonight. All for St. John's. A.J. Adams has been held to 8 points for the Trojans. These two teams will meet again on January 14th. Inside Adams. Nice slip to Montgomery, who puts it up with the left hand.
Yeah, good vision by Adams on the square up, felt the double team, and Luke Montgomery carved out space on the weak side and got the catch and finish.
And a 30-second timeout taken by Mike Schoen and St. John's. And get a few substitutions in. Looks like Jabari Conway is going to see his first action tonight. We mentioned St. John's going to take on St. Ed's tomorrow. A lot of times that can tell us what the season's going to be like for St. John's. And at the same time, we love seeing that Northwest Ohio versus Northeast Ohio battle because you could see it deep in tournament time.
You're exactly right. It's a non-conference game that they played for every year for a while now, so there is some familiarity within the programs. And St. Ed's team last year was very good. I got a chance to see them play in person. Very impressed with them. Now, as far as how were they hit by graduation, I don't know, but what I do know is their JV team was pretty talented as well. Watching them play, so they're going to bring a great team into in against St. John's, and St. John's they'll be ready for it. They'll be prepared and see how they stack up.
Isaiah Johnson on that last basket for Findlay. Just over a minute remaining. Garcia finds Barnes. Even though this has not been an easy night for Findlay, Jim Rookie talked about how this will only benefit his team as they get into the later stages of the season and having more depth, with guys getting more minutes than they would have been expected to get coming into this season.
Well, 4 sophomores and a freshman got a lot of playing time here this evening for Coach Rookie. When you look at Justin Roth, Terrion Ross, you got McCrancy and then Wyrau, and then Montgomery as well. Those guys got valuable minutes, regardless of the outcome. They got valuable minutes here tonight against a quality program. And the only positives come from that. You know, they're learning to play at the speed and the strength and the skill level of varsity basketball. You know, something that's new, you know, for the majority of them, if not all of them.
Underneath, 2 more for Montgomery. He's got 9 points. Less than 15 seconds to play. A nice applause from the St. John's faithful as time expires. St. John's opens their season with a 54-36 victory over the Findlay Trojans. Great for head coach Mike Schoen to start his era off with a victory and a conference victory.
Yeah, it was big, and I think if you could draw up the perfect script for St. John's, it materialized here this evening. I think Coach Schoen's going to be extremely happy. One, how they started the game, particularly on the defensive end, you know, where they did a great job of disrupting the rhythm of the sets of Findlay with physicality, denying the passing lane, and then also collapsing on drives. And offensively, they shot the ball well early. They got a lot of people involved early. They got a big lead. They were able to sustain that big lead.
Titans win by 18 tonight, as we will take it to break and be back with more here on BCSN.